This message is for someone who has been doubting their purpose on and off. And it's not for someone who has no idea what their purpose is. This is for someone who you feel most of the time, or maybe 50% of the time, like you are living in your purpose, but then the other 50% or however much percent, you have serious doubts. You get confused. You don't know what to do next. You feel like you're not making that much of a difference. The images that they showed me to represent this were one, a drop in the bucket. So they're saying sometimes you feel like you're just making a drop in the bucket or like a drop in the ocean, and you're doing your work, but you don't feel like you're really having an impact. And they're saying that that feeling is, number one, an illusion. You're not seeing clearly. You're not seeing clearly the impact that you are having. So when you get stuck in that cycle, it is generated from your own fears, not actual fact. So you spend about half the time or however much in the drop in the bucket energy, but then sometimes they were showing me the beginning of The Lion King when they begin singing the Circle of Life, and the sun is rising, and the Circle of Life is about how we all find our place, we find our role, everyone has their place in the ecosystem, and everything happens as it should. So you spend the other half of the time feeling like, yeah, I'm in the circle of life. I am part of this cycle. I am part of this ecosystem of humanity. And, I'm living my role. I'm doing what I'm here to do. And, everybody's working together in that way, even if they're not directly working together. You know what I mean? So this message is about how you can shift from this drop in the bucket, woe is me, I'm not doing anything, I don't even know what to do, I'm lost and confused energy, into the inspired, I'm a part of something bigger than myself, and just living passionately every day. So what they were showing me is the reason that this is happening is it has to do with your Neptune energy. Neptune is the planet of spirituality, of higher consciousness, of mysticism, of surrender. And so, but the shadow side of Neptune is illusion, delusion, can also be rose-colored glasses, and fogginess and confusion. So what they're saying is that a part of your Neptune energy is being repressed, and it's being repressed because there is this unconscious shame that you are dealing with. Unconscious shame around your sense of self-worth, your ability to contribute, your ability to add value. And this unconscious shame sometimes pops up and rears its ugly head. And that's when you get stuck in that loop of doubt and confusion and feeling worthless or feeling useless. So when you get stuck in these phases, there's this pervasive feeling of, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's next, and you start to really doubt your path. Am I even on the right path? Is what I'm doing the right thing to be doing? Like, are these, the tasks I should be focused on? Is this what my day should look like? You just start picking everything apart and wondering if it's right, instead of just relaxing into your place, your role. So what they're recommending is that you have to free this repressed Neptunian energy. And you're going to free this by, of course, exploring the unconscious shame, exploring the part of you that feels worthless or feels like it doesn't add value. That's going to be a huge part of it. But they're also recommending some sort of regular, daily, if you can, meditative practice, inward practice that allows you to connect with your inner mystic, that allows you to connect beyond the mind with something greater, because your mind is not going to lead you into your purpose. And in fact, the minute you start relying on your mind and you start looking at the external world and trying to judge what you should do based off of that, is the minute you are suddenly thrown back into that cycle of doubt and confusion, because you're comparing yourself to other people, you're looking at, data or metrics that are not truly a judge of where your purpose, like how you're doing in living in your purpose. You're looking at the wrong metrics, you're using the wrong measuring stick when you're looking at the external world, because you are here to live a life of a mystic. So they're recommending that you pattern interrupt whenever you start to feel this doubt, whenever you start to feel this cloudiness, that is a sign that you need to go within. And you need to do it as often as you can feasibly do it. If it's multiple times a day, you have to turn back within. And they were also showing me that when you go within, you arrive at a level of clarity, and this clarity gives you precision in whatever it is that you're doing, whatever the work that you're doing is. They're showing me someone diving off of a diving board, and you know how a good dive is there's very little splash. There's like this precision that they enter the water with. And so that's why they're showing me that. They're saying, you know, you get very caught up in your mind and your head, trying to figure out what to do next and how to make it work, and how do I live my purpose? How do I get it right? And you're kind of all over the place when you're doing that. But when you go within, you are shown things, or you have a knowing, you have a feeling, you have a sensation, you receive some sort of clarity or some sort of information that allows you to arrive at your purpose with much more precision. And not only that, it just gives you the feeling when you meditate or when you go within. It could be breath work, it could be spiritual baths, it could be whatever brings you inward, essentially. When you're doing that practice, you are obviously shifting into another state of consciousness and awareness. And this state of consciousness and awareness shift is what is allowing you to feel like you have a home with your purpose, feel like you have a place. It's like it's clicking you into place when you are doing these rituals, these practices. I'm also being shown that when you start to get into a headspace of thinking about what you can get, like what these tasks or what this role or what etc. this is going to get you, you are essentially locking yourself into that doubt and confusion and I don't know what to do next energy. It's the same frequency. But when you do make that shift into focusing on, okay, what can I give? What can I give at this point, where I am in this present moment? What feels right for me to give? And really just asking that question, that's a question you could actually take into your meditation. If you do this on a daily basis, you could do this at the start of your day, every single day, and ask that question, what can I give? What feels good for me to give in this moment? And begin again, reconditioning yourself to look at your purpose from that lens. It really feels like the main message here is that you have a place, and it really is about that repatterning and reconditioning that happens within you when you speak to that part of you that doubts that you have a place, that part of you that feels like it is searching for its place. That's the part of you that needs reassurance consistently that you have a place. And even just the feeling of that belonging, or the feeling of that knowing of your purpose, knowing it exists, knowing you have a spot where you are meant to be, and feeling that practice is going to bring you more and more into that energy as well.